So for the right side, what I need to do is just for now, I'm just gonna have div, which is flex, and then also flex column. So we're just gonna have it as a column, and then we need to add the gap y to be something like 4. Okay, and then also I want to have the items to be in the end, so in the right side, and then also the text to be extra small. Let me remove. This is not this is not right to do in your applications. If you want to have space, always add and in BSP like that. Never use that space and like that. This will create a problem even on production. So right here we're just gonna have a span, and this span right here. So for the class name in the dark mode, we're just gonna have the text to be dark text, and then 1 or 2 actually, and then inside of the span here we will just have the date. So like the things that we have, if we go to convo and then I go to latest, which is okay, and then I go to created ads. Okay, let's say I went here. So if I go back here, this is actually what I'm gonna see. Is this the date that I get from MongoDB, which is such a weird format that I actually don't know what is it or how to deal with that. So we need to create some sort of tool to actually handle the dates for us. And it's going to be just like WhatsApp. What I mean by that, if it's like just now, you send a message, it should say now. If it's like few minutes, you will say like 3 minutes ago, whatever. That's not how WhatsApp works. It always shows the date. But if it's like yesterday, it's not going to tell you the date of yesterday. It's going to say yesterday. If it's like, if it's still within the week, like the message is still within the week, so it's going to show you the name of that day, let's say Thursday or Saturday, as long as it's during that week. If it's over that week, then simply it's going to show you directly the full date, so like the day and the month and the year. So this is how WhatsApp do it, and we have to find a way to do that. So first of all, I want to show you something that we will use, which is called Moments.js. And if you go to Moment.js right here, so it's a very famous package to deal with dates, especially that dates can be complicated. So this package right here, so you can just call it like, for example, you go and import this by moment. It works on the front end and the back end, of course, and it's takes your date, for example, and make it like something universal that works with all time zones. So that's very good. So it takes care of all of that, and then you can use that package to do many extraordinary things, and I will show you, because it is very good. And the first thing that you have to do, let me go clear the console here, or the terminal. You have to go yarn add and then moments, okay, like that. So when you do that, install it and everything, I've already done that. So when you do that, you have to import it. So let's say I went here. We're gonna use it our way, but we still have to import it. So just from moment, not moment/moment, just moment. So simply this is moments. Moments is actually very nice. So let's say, for example, console log, and you go moments like this, and this is just gonna get you the date right now. So if I inspect in the console, so you open moments and you see this is what it gets you. It gets you the date, which is like, for example, today, Wednesday, for example, today is 15/2023. So it gives you the date in the proper time zone that you are actually in right now, okay, which is I am actually GMT +1. So there is like the advantage of using moments when you have multiple, users that all connect your application somewhere, different. So, and that is cool. So now if I take that moment and I pass to it the convo dot the latest message, then okay, I have to do that again. Sadly, latest message, then dot created as, okay. So we pass in that date that we don't know how to even deal with that. And if I go right here, now it's gonna show you that date exactly in my time zone. And that is the beautiful thing about this. As I told you, it shows you the format that it was in, and then now it's gonna transfer you to a normal date that is related to my time zone. And as I told you, again, this is beautiful. So now we can use that to do many things. One of the things that you console log, and you can do dot and say something like from now, okay? And from now, if you do that, it's gonna show you like how much, from now till that date that you have. So I purposely went to those messages that I have here. So let me zoom out a little bit here. So the dates that you see here for those conversations, I myself went to the database and manipulate them just so we can have some data, different type of data. Like 2 months ago, it's not the conversation, this message is not 2 months ago, but I myself went and go to the database, went here and with some messages and played with the created at property, okay, just to have some different types of dates to deal with. So because I was tested, so we know that we have this, so I can get use of this and transfer it to something that I can use. One of the things that you can do is you just pass through right here from now, and it's gonna give you just like, okay, 2 months without the ago. So now I want to take this information and use it and do it just like WhatsApp. It seems like it's gonna be hard, but just follow me and we will do it in the simplest way possible, because yeah, I try to actually do it in a more professional way, but it's like complicated a little bit for you, so I'm just gonna make it the easiest way. So follow me. We have to go to utils, and I will create a new folder, and let's call this, for example, I don't know, dates, and then dots. This is how I name usually, but I'm just gonna call it now dates.js, okay? And then I will go here and let me import moments from moment like this. So I can go down right here, and what I need to do, let's go export defaults. Actually, let's just have calls, and then let's call it, for example, I don't know, date handler or something, and this simply takes like a date here, okay, and this is what we do with it. So sorry, equal here, so it takes a date and we can return something, okay. This is like the function that I'm gonna have. So let's say that I go back to my conversation here, and like instead of showing this created at, I can call that function, which is called date handler, and I will pass the date to it, which is going to be the convo.latest message dot created at. So we agree on this one. All right. So there are a few things that I need to go in the date and do it. First of all, I will get the time now, so I can say now, and this is just simply equal moment. And this is gonna get me the date right now. I can also get the date for transfer the date that I have into a moment using a moment, so it's works with all time zones. So I can say let and say moment date, and I will call this, I will call moment, and I will add the date to it. So it's gonna take the date that we have and transfer it to our time zone, and that is pretty cool. So now I will do something that is very stupid. So when it's like something in a moment, like when you just send a message, let's say you just sent a message, what's gonna happen? So for example, like if I went back, for example, and I sent a new message. So moment, if I use the moment to show like the dates using from now, it's gonna say something like a few seconds ago. What I mean by that, this is gonna be a long video, but I don't care, I have to explain this very well, or you're gonna get very confused. So for example, if I went under here and I add another span just to show you, and I used moment, okay, and let me import that, and I passed what we do, so just convo, okay, etc., created that, and then also added dot from now, okay, and then true. So if I went here, and this is what you will see, something like that. Let me just close this and let me zoom in here. So you'd see something like 2 days, 6 days, 2 months, okay? If I just sent this message, it will say something like few minutes ago. What do I mean by that? Let me go to my, right here to the send message in Postman, and let me try and send another message. So let me send this message again, and then to the same user, which is the user that I'm talking about is this one, the first one. Okay, so if I went there and I send a message again, so I sent, it's been sent. So if I refresh now, you will see something like a few seconds. So when it's a few seconds, I don't want to say see a few seconds in my screen. I want to see something like now, which is what WhatsApp does. So what I can do is actually pretty simple, just simple testing. I can go right to if. So I have to actually first of all get the time. So I'd say time equal, and I will use the moment state that I have, and I use dot from now, which is the same we've done to show you, and we add true, just to get that simple text, which is like, for example, says a few seconds ago. And if this time is actually equal to a few seconds, which is the text that we were saying, we will return now. You get the idea? You get what I'm trying to do? So now if I went back, and you could see, let me try and send a message again. So I sent. So if I went back here, you will see now in top. Okay, so instead of saying of showing a few seconds, I will show now, and this is the whole idea, and that's why we're doing this. So now you see, so we're using this, the date handler is gonna show us now instead of what moment, it's gonna show us a few seconds ago. And I feel like this is pretty clear. All right, so now if it's actually you know, like minutes or something, so as you see right now, you could say right here, like let's refresh after like a minute passes or something, it's gonna show a minute or like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So let's wait a little bit till it does that for us, because we're gonna have another test, because now the new form is gonna select, for example, a minute or like 3 minutes. So we have to deal with that. So let me go back, let me refresh, and you see a minute. So what we can do is another function, another test. We can say if time equal or not equal, because we will need to search on the string that is time, and let's search for something minutes. Okay, so if it is minutes or minutes, it's the same. Well, the important thing is that like it shows minutes, so like 59 minutes, whatever, it's always going to be less than an hour. So if it is there, this is going to be returning like the position. So it's something different than -1. -1 when it's like doesn't found it. Okay, so if it's equal -1, so it didn't find this string minutes inside this text, but it did found it, it's going to be different than -1. Okay, so if it is different, what I can actually return now, because it is different, I can return the minutes, like let's say 5 minutes, 4 minutes, and then that's it. So it wouldn't be like 3 minutes. So what I can do is let's minutes here, and I could take the time, and then we'll split it by this space, and then we'll get the first one, which is 0, for example, because the time would be like something 4 and then minutes. What I do is I will split them by this space between them, and I will get the first one, which is this is minutes now. You get what I mean? So, but this is for minutes, but it could be just a minute. So we will search, and that is actually the problem right here, because we search for minutes, but let's check something. I can do if another test, if minutes, so after like splitting everything, is equal to a, like this. So a big deal, because this is not the time. What we need to return here, and would say like 1 minute. Okay, but else that means it is 3 or 4 or something. What I need to return here, I'm doing it very simple. I can use backticks, and this is gonna be the minutes, and here minutes. All right, so now if I went back and I refresh, as you will see, 3 min instead of 3 minutes. But if it was 1 minute, would say 1 min instead of a minute. I hope this is making a lot of sense. This is such a long video, but I'm really trying to do it the easiest way possible for you, so you can understand just by ifs. Okay, I don't think there is an easier way than this. Now, if it's, say, for example, it is like by hours. So for example, it would be like an hour, or maybe like 2 hours or 3 hours. So we can do a test if time dot search. I would search for hour. That's it. And so if it's different than -1, that means it exists. What I need to do right now is return, and I want to return just simply the time exactly where this message been sent, and that is the whole idea. So for example, let me go back and refresh here. So this is the last message. I can go to the date. So let's say, for example, I make it instead of 11:16. So it's during this day, but it's like few hours. Oh, actually, this is like in the future. We have to go back. So I can say, for example, 08. This is in the morning. Okay, this now is 11. I can make it at 8. So what I need to do right now is, so if this is existing, I can create a function that just gonna return for me the date in a format of like an hour. Let's say, for example, 10 and then 22. This is what I want to get, instead of showing 1 hour or 2 hours ago, because this is how WhatsApp does it. So I can go here and call this, for example, date by hour and minutes, okay, like that. And this is simply, we can use the moment date, and there is something that is called format, and we can format it the way we want. I would say hour, then minutes. So now what I need to do is just return this. So now if I refresh, we know that this last here, we changed it to be a few hours. So now it's gonna show, as you see right now, instead of showing 3 hours, I will show exactly that time, which is how WhatsApp does it. It doesn't show 3 hours WhatsApp. It shows you like the exact hour and minutes. All right. It's a little bit confusing, I know, but step by step, this is the simplest way I found to just explain it for you, and you know, to not be confused. So now let's say if it's actually a day, it's been a day. This message was yesterday. So if it was yesterday, I'm not gonna show like, for example, a day ago or something. What it's gonna show a day, because this is what the moment show you. So if time equal to a day, because this is actually what time what moment will do. What we need to do, instead of doing that, I can just return and then yesterday. Okay, so now if I went back and I actually changed the dates, for example, for this one to be to yesterday, so it shouldn't be more than for 24 hours, so you have to be careful. So let's say, for example, 16 and then update. So if it was yesterday less than 24 hours, so refresh, it should show us right here. Okay, it didn't. Oh, because it's 19 hours. It's not even yesterday, so it's still during the day. So I have to go here and make this something like 10, and then updates, and then let me go back here and refresh. So now, instead of showing a day right here, what we will need to show is yesterday, which is what WhatsApp does. I remind you, because on the top right here, what we're showing is we're using our function, and this is what, you know, time moment return for us. All right. This is pretty cool, you know, we keep going. So what you need to go back to our function again. This is just stupid test, but it does the work for us. So now let's say, now if it's been a few days, let's say like 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, whatever, what we need to do is just simply, if it's during the week, let's say if it's during the week, because yeah, it should be during the week. That's the whole idea right here. This is very interesting, because it should be during the week. Yeah, but like during the weeks, we shouldn't be more than 7, because if it's like more than 7, that's been more than a week, and I cannot show like the day. So that's like where the trouble comes here. So to make this example more clear, I went and changed the date for this second conversation to make it 9 days. So because there's a difference, as I told you, if it's during the week, we're gonna show the name of that day, but if it's not, we're gonna show the actual proper full date. So now this is the idea. So I know, so I gotta go F, and I can go to the time and search if this is like something that has, you know, days. Okay, because we already treated the day. So now if it has days, so if it's different, then -1. What I can do is I have a function, so I'm gonna go return get day, and I will explain to you how we're gonna do that. So get day like that, and I would create this function. So I can go here and I will go const get day, and this function simply what it does, so because we're gonna send the time to it, but we already have the time here directly, so we don't need to do that. So I can see how many days I have by just simply going to the time that I have, and I will actually just split again, as we've done before. We split by the space, and we get the first part, which is gonna be like 3 days, 2 days. So the days right here, it could be like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is after splitting. But we're gonna check if it's actually less than 8. So if it should be less, so the days. So as a number, we have to make it, because it was a number. So we have to go as a number if it's like the days is less strictly than 8. So it's like 7, 6, 4, 5, whatever. So if it's strict than that, what I actually need to do is return, and I will go to now, which is the time right now, and I will use the function that comes from moment, which is called subtract. So I cannot even type, so subtract right here, and we need to subtract like a number of days from the day right now. So we can go number and then the days, so -1, -2, whatever, and then the second parameter is going to be by days. Okay, so -1 day, 2 day, whatever it was, and then we have to format, and we just get the day, so dd to get the days. And this is the idea. But if else, let's say it's more than that, it's more than 8, it's 8 or more, so this is not during the week, we cannot show that day because that's like too far back. So what we need to do is actually return the full day with the format that we want, which is going to be the moment date that we have, and I'm going to use the format, and I can define. So the first thing I want to get the dd, which is the day, and then the second thing it would be the month, and the last thing would be the year. I feel like this is pretty simple. So this is what we gonna do. Else, what if everything, you know, is not among the six? I'm just gonna return the time. So as a, you know, as a backup, what if we didn't treat like some certain condition? Why we didn't take care of that? We will return just the time directly. All right. So let me go back right now. So as you can see right here, so this is 2 days. It returns for me Monday. All right. So because this is like close to me, and actually it is Monday, because if I went back right now, this is today is Wednesday. So 2 days before it is actually Monday. So it is right. So one thing, I made a mistake, I believe, here. So we need to format that this way, and I didn't return, sorry. That was the problem. I did need to return. So now, instead of showing 9 days, I will actually show the dates. And yeah, this is like the whole magic of this function. It is like quite not the most professional way to do it, to be honest with you, but I have to make it simple for you, okay? And you need to understand, because this is educational purpose course. So I feel like this is pretty useful, and we've done it in a good manner. So now if I went back right here, I can actually go back to my conversation, and I will remove the second span here with the moment, and also remove the imports here. And if I went back right now, this is actually what I'm gonna get. If it's yesterday, it shows yesterday. If this is this date, if it's Monday, or like, yeah, this is beautiful. Like, let's say, for example, if it's now, I will just send this message again, and I will go back here, and now it's gonna say now, okay? Yeah. If it's a minute, it's gonna show 1 minute, 2 minutes. Yeah, that's totally fine. But even WhatsApp, I'm not sure, because sometimes it's not gonna show 3 minutes or 4 minutes. It will actually show the time directly. So you have to make sure of that. And when you do, I will do that, not recording, but that is simply, if that's true, just make sure WhatsApp what it does exactly. So instead of showing like 1 minute or like minutes, what you have to show is the date by hour min. So instead of doing all of that, you just go here and do this, okay? So that's up to you. So depending on what we have, or you can make the test right inclusive. So like if it's, you know, search hour, or actually you can't find minute in it, you would do this, and that will make our function so much smaller and easier to read. So this is depending on what's WhatsApp. I don't remember exactly, but I'm trying my best to remember. I don't remember right now, but just make it the way you want. And this is educational. You don't have to do exactly what they do 100%, but you just try to do what you can. And I feel like we've done a really good job right here. This is better than, you know, using just moments and it would show you everything a go. We don't need that. So there is one thing that I actually forgot, which is to add a line under, which is like a sort of a border under every single conversation. If I zoomed in, it should be in the bottom of every conversation. So that's something that I actually was recording and I even forgot. So I have to go back to my conversations, then the conversation, okay? I need to go here. And at the end right here, so in the end of the list item, let's call this like a border. So in this border, we can have like some sort of class name, which is for this div, which is going to be margin left, and it's going to be 16. So this border is not going to be only, it's not going to take the whole width, but only a little bit of the left. Okay, so this is it. And then we're going to also add border bottom, and then this border bottom should have a color. So border B, and the color it should be dark border. So it's dark border 1. So what is it? Actually, this one. All right, and then simply it's gonna be this is on dark mode. Let me save, and it says save and write. I don't know why it's taken so long, but that's fine. If I went back now, I can actually see that. So this is like more similar to WhatsApp. So if I zoomed out like this, this is better. Zoom in, yeah, you can see it. So now actually you can watch me go and see you in the next video.